what's up everyone? This is Raite coming to you with a video this time. I'm always hoping you're inspired, encouraged, motivated, and challenged. But today I am really hoping that you're encouraged today. With the climate of what's going on, I just wanted to do a quick check-in with everybody, but also share with what I believe God has given me to encourage someone's heart. With COVID-19, Black Lives Matter, the economic issues, the governmental, there's so much going on, right? It's a lot going on. And how do we handle all of this? How do we address it? There's so many great ideas. There's so many people putting ideas out on the tables. But I want to just share what God has given me right now. Like I said, to encourage hearts. And I want to give you some contextual background too of where I'm coming from and why I'm doing this. So I have a soapbox that I was on my soapbox in 2014. And I think it's just easy because we're on social media to be on our soapbox. And I think it's still relevant till today. The assignment for me has not changed. It's still relevant. And I think it's appropriate for me to read it. So here, men, women, and children desperately cry out for help every day all over the world, in this country, and even in our own neighborhoods. People are being abused, oppressed, misused, hungry, alone, forgotten, and crushed. We may not hear their cries personally, but God does, and God has called some of us to help. Be kind, considerate, empathetic, compassionate, givers of our time, our money, or talents. It breaks my heart when I see the people who are of the faith do the opposite. None of the acts of kindness I listed will cost anything if we just practice it. And so I kind of wrote an epilogue. I think it's safe to call it an epilogue. And I'm going to go ahead and read that also. And this is in 2019. So the other first, my soapbox, 2014, the epilogue, 2019. So the assignment has not changed. Trust what God will allow, because He will show you the very hearts of people. When God allows you to see, at the same time give you the strength to endure some minor irritations that others may have experienced to bring about change for His glory. Change is not easy, but it's necessary for God's healing and deliverance to flow. It will appear one way to others, but stay focused on what God has purposed you to do. Not only do we need to trust the process, but trust the assignment that God gives. His grace matters the heart. Keep going. So I literally wrote that to myself, but I still shared it with my social media page. Yes, I did, personally. But I think this is important because it's important to recognize how human conditions can be. That everything is not always on the up and up. Everything is not always happy. I mean, of course, we're dealing with a pandemic. At the same time, we're dealing with Black Lives Matter in our country. We're dealing with the protests, and there's other protests now uprising in our country because of the unrest I think people are feeling, and the pressure and the anxiousness that people are feeling right now. And with my soapbox and giving the assignment that I believe God has given me, the purpose of my life, it has not changed. God has given me this, and it's not changed. It's still the same. My heart is still the same for people. And to have God call us for such a time as this is important for a lot of us to recognize what is really going on, as far as the atmosphere, the temperature, the culture, the temperament of people. It's very telling. And it's not saying we don't fight against social injustices or fight for a cure for this or vaccine. There's so much. The economic issues are being addressed. Businesses trying to help save families and businesses, and just, Lord, give us the creative solutions to help work this thing, because life will happen, and it's happening right now for all of us. Now, I believe COVID-19 is a real thing. And let me tell you why I believe it. It's a real illness. It's a real virus. In the end of 2019, the beginning of 2020, just this year, I became sick. I thought it was a flu, a really horrible flu or cold. But I was like, my body was feeling some type of way. And I said, this is a different type of flu. This is like the strong man flu. I didn't know what to call it. So when I went to the doctor, it took me only 3 days. So I took the over-the-counter medicine, but I went to the doctor. They kept calling it a superbug. There's like this superbug that's going around. It's just going around fast because that office was full of people. It wasn't just me. It was full. And just looking at my symptoms, my lungs were really tight. I was like, I feel like I'm like somebody squeezing on my lungs. There's pressure on my lungs. My fever wasn't breaking. It was just, I felt horrible. And I was like, I just need relief. I just want relief. I need my lungs to be normal. I need to breathe clear again. It was just, I wanted relief from that. So the doctor was able to prescribe me medicine, and which did help me. And it took me about 2 weeks with certain foods because I put myself on a certain restriction as far as my food is concerned. Because I was like, I don't trust certain foods while I'm going through this process and how I feel. This is crazy. So I can truly empathize with believing that COVID-19, this virus, is a real thing because of my experience. And I'm like, I don't ever want to feel like that when my lungs felt that compressed. Like, I felt like, okay, this is doing a lot. But during that time, here's the upside to that. During that time, I wasn't able to talk a lot, but I was able to write. I was still writing in my journal, still writing down the experience that I had, not knowing what I was really dealing with. I was like, this horrible flu, it's taken, Lord, I feel like part of my lung out. I felt like that, okay? I was like, I'm straining. I said, but it's taking longer to heal. Did not know. Of course, February rolls around, and now we have a name to this superbug, and we're now calling it COVID-19. I was like, wow. I believe I had that stuff. But during that process, God, I was writing in my journal. I'll go back to that. I'm getting excited. I was going back to my journal, and in the middle of that, like it was like the 4th day of me taking the medicine, I still felt tightness, but I felt relieved. I started feeling really relieved and really grateful just to breathe. Do you hear me? Just to breathe. So this is where the word inspire comes from, because this is in my journal. I'm like, oh, this is just for me. It's just my personal time with God. But I'm like, no, this is a thing to inspire, to remind people to breathe in. Especially during this time, breathe in. There's so many health benefits for our bodies to be able to breathe in. And my heart goes out to those who have lost loved ones and those who are still struggling, those who have died from this thing. And then looking at our Black Lives Matter movement here, looking at just recently Mr. Floyd, who died unjustly, saying he couldn't breathe. There is a connection. There is a connection. When people say, I can't relate to the Black Lives Movement the Black Lives Movement, because I'm not Black. But this is where I feel like there's the connection, okay? Just think about breathing. That, to me, in itself, as a human being, should set you on this empathetic trail, this trail of, I don't care how you feel, angry, upset, sad, empathy. That part is where we relate as human beings. Do you hear me? That's the part where we do relate as human beings. But the COVID-19 and people dealing with the virus and not being able to breathe, and we're not having enough ventilators and machines and manpower to address human lives, humans wanting to fight, humans wanting to breathe. Crazy to me. And I'm just praying like, Lord, what do we do? What do we do? What can we do? I mean, the world was stopped. Life wasn't stopped for a lot of us, but the world was stopped. Our functioning, how we function every day was on hold. The normal for us is on hold. Okay, it's still on hold. And I still believe this virus is a thing. It's out here. It's here. I'm praying for the vaccine, praying for the solutions, praying that the cultural gaps that we have in our country are addressed, that people will empathize with the voices of the Black Lives Matter movement, because it's not just about Black people. It's a human thing. It really is. And that, to me, to see people protest around the world, around the culture, the country, is a beautiful thing because it shows the human spirit. I feel like that's the heart of God. And it's not only people who are saying, well, we believe in Black Lives Matter, the Black Lives Matter movement, but it's a human, I keep going back, it's a human experience. How can you not empathize with it? Okay? We got to talk about it. Okay, we have to talk about it. And trying to find the solutions to a lot of the things that we're facing today. I believe we all have a part to play, whether it's a small piece, a big piece, a little piece, whatever the part is, we have a part to play in it. We have purpose here. God is still giving us breath in our lungs to be here for this moment and this time. Okay? That's how I see it. And so, again, I'm just on here to remind you to breathe and to inspire. Do not take it for granted. I'm just telling you guys, as I was doing those breathing exercises in January, and look at it overwhelmed me. It overtook me because I started thinking about the goodness of God, the grace of God, the power of God, the love of God, just for my life, right? Just for my life. And to just have that, the very thing that we sometimes might take for granted, being snuffed out of other people. Is a hard one to think about. It's a challenge to think about. But we have to talk about it. So to end this on a light note, I want to share with you all what are some of the benefits of having, what are the benefits of oxygen being in our bodies as human beings. So let's look at that. It calms anxiety. It reduces stress. Oxygen detoxes our blood. It builds endurance. It improves our strength. It alleviates tension and headaches. It remedies irregular sleeping patterns. It helps with cardiovascular activity. It increases memory capacity and boosts concentration. So there's a lot of other factors here that it helps with. So I just want to encourage you with my simple word of encouragement is to don't forget to breathe. Don't forget to inspire. And if you're able to take a deep breath in and slowly breathe it out and think about God loves me this much to touch me like this, that I am breathing the very breath of God right now, that we are breathing the very breath of God right now. That humbles me so much. But it also tells you of the love of God for us. That God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whomsoever believeth in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. Inspire, you guys. Don't forget to breathe, okay? Just don't forget to breathe. There's so many health benefits, and it's just breathing. It'll help with our responses. It helps with our interactions. I believe it'll help with us bringing solutions to the table and actions taking place. It just helps overall to just breathe. Okay? And don't forget to show your love. Okay? Do not forget to show the love. It's just a fun hat. I mean, I'll be wearing it next time, but it's a fun hat. So until next time, if you enjoyed the video, if it was something that really encouraged you, please respond, like, and subscribe. Have a wonderful, blessed day. Inspire. God bless.